don't bow down to them and don't serve them, because I am God, your God, and I'm a most jealous God, punishing the children for any sins their parents pass on to them, to their third and yes, even to the fourth generation of those who hate me. What's going on? Beyond Ego, back again with another video. Now, I was just chilling, I was just sitting down, and then something came up to me. Like, I remembered something, some verse that I've heard when I was young, during the old times when I was used to be forced into going to church and all these things. And the verse is that verse that I've posted there on the first screen, on the introduction. Now I want to talk about that. I am the God that punishes the children for what? For their parents' sins. What is that? Is it a blackmail kind of a verse or what? Because it sure sounds like a blackmail to me, because it says that the God punishes those people's children because they didn't love him. You see, he said he's jealous and they didn't love him. So he's going to do what? He's going to punish their children and also their generations. You see, that sounds like a blackmail, first of all. Secondly, it's kind of evil, because if you look at it in that way, the children are innocent, right? They're supposed to be innocent. How can a God punishes the children for the deeds of their parents? How is that even making sense? You see, but this is not what I'm interested on. You see, I'm not interested on these things, this morality talk about why it's not good to punish these children, or why it's not good to to blackmail people into compliance, to blackmail people into loving you. I don't want to talk about these kind of things, because come on, we're too smart for these things. We're advanced. We don't believe these things, right? It's nonsense, obviously. It's nonsense. But what I'm interested in are the people who believe this nonsense. You see, I want to discuss the people who believe this nonsense. First of all, you as a Christian, because this is a Christian verse, right? It's a Christian Bible verse. You as a Christian, why would you, in which scenario does it make sense for you, this verse? In which scenario does it sounds justifiable to you that your children should be punished for your deeds? You see, how is that making sense, that you out there go out and be a criminal and then your children should be punished? You see, it's the same as if your children do bad things, do you expect the parents to be punished? Would you want to be punished as a parent? Actually, I think it's better that way, because you are the one who brought them into this world. I think it's a little bit better for you to be the one who suffers for their deeds than the other way around. Because how can you are the one who did the sins, and you are the one who brought your children into the evil world with an evil God entity or whatever. You brought them here, and then they still be the one who's supposed to be feeling the pain. It doesn't make sense, you see. But this is some sort of a justification for the way the system is. The system in such a way that I'm referring to, You know, you need to think deep about these things. You need to be advanced. You need to understand what I'm telling you and think deep. The system it works in such a way that you as a person, you know, you as a parent, you whatever you do, you see, whatever you do in the system, if how can I put it? If you don't fight to get better life, or you don't do all these things to build a good foundation for your children, it means your children are going to suffer. This is the message, what it's saying. You see, it's like a dictatorship message that says that you, as a parents, for not building a good or a proper foundation for your children will suffer. That's how I interpret this message. So you as a parent, you must have a proper foundation for your children, or else they will suffer. You see. So first of all, above all these things, I will always try to take things to an antinatalist point of view. Why would you bring a child into the world where you know that they're going to be punished for the sins that they didn't do? How is that even making sense? Are you stupid or something? You see, these people, that's why I don't like religious people. You see, people keep talking about religion, what in my channel. No, man, I have to tell you, I don't believe in those nonsense. You see, I don't believe in those nonsense. It doesn't make sense. You see, the God of the Bible is nonsense. Use your logic when you read this thing. Try to understand what this thing. Here, I posted the verse there. Read it and come to me in my comment section and tell me what you think. Try to justify that nonsense that's written there. How is it that your children are supposed to be punished for the deeds that you do? How are they supposed to be punished for your sins? You see, but if you were smart enough and you were able to think logically, you would understand that what it means is that the children will be punished because you didn't build a proper foundation for them. In terms of what? In terms of setting them for success or anything like that in this physical reality in this society, because the society is always about competition over success, climbing the hierarchy. If you didn't climb the hierarchy good enough as a parent, then your children will suffer. You know, I always have this thought. It always came to me, like, I sit down and I try to analyze people. I try to analyze families. I try to analyze many things. What I came to realize is that a lot of people don't change. 90 or 95%, or I may even say 98% of people in this society, they don't change. You see, they don't change their family. They don't do nothing. You see, only 5% of people in this world are capable, and they are the one who change their families. They are the one who change their structures. What do I mean by this? A lot of people, what do? They go to school. They get their certificates. They get their degrees, and what do they do after that? They go and get a job. A 9-to-5 job or anything, or any kind of a job, and then they think they are done, and then they start reproducing like bunch of rats. What is a degree and a fucking job gonna do to your family? It ain't gonna change shit. The only thing you're gonna be able to do is to feed them and give them a proper education to do what? To do the fucking same shit that you did. You see, I always said this. I always told people that I was close to. I always tell them this, but they never understand. People don't understand. Once you try to sacrifice and do something which is outside this, they work against you. You see, you try to change their life. You try to sacrifice and do something that can help these people. But what happened? You see, what happened is that they work against you. They don't want you to do that. They want you to do what? To focus on working and being a slave, while as in reality, you're not going to change your family. You're not going to change nonsense. You see, and that's what I think children are being punished for. You see, we got generation and generation and generation and generation and generation and generation of children, of people who continue to suffer because their parents, their forefathers, their grandfathers didn't do nothing. They only were workers. You see, they focused on working instead of focusing on trying to be self-sustainable as a family. You see, the people who are in power, the elites that we keep talking about, they are powerful family who who raise in power and sustain themselves as a family. You see, those are the true families, because they manage to conquer this fucking shit. But these other ones, these families of yours, they are nonsense. They are a bunch of nonsense and full of competition. That's why I don't believe in those families and nonsense. I don't believe in families. It's nonsense, because we set each other up for competition instead of setting each other up for a proper foundation, for a proper generations of people. You see, they breed generations of wage slave instead of breeding generations of independent thinkers. That's what I think they are being punished for. You see, this is the reason why generation and generation of people are punished. 95% of people are punished. You see, this God of the Bible, these things, these verses, if you read them understandingly, you will realize that it favors those elites. It favors the people who are in power. Those 95% of people, the majority of the people are cursed. They are cursed and they are being punished. Understand? It never made sense for me. It never made sense. Ever since I was a child, I always wanted to understand this. It never made sense at all. Why are we as a family trying to outcompete each other? Why are many people? There's only few people. You guys who are listening here, you know what I'm talking about. There's only few people. There's only a little amount of families who work together towards building something that can free them from the system. Majority of families don't work together to build something that can free them from the system. What they do is that they outcompete each other into working for the system. You see, that's what they do. You see, they set you up for school, they set you up for degrees, they set you up to be prepared for wage slavery. And after that, they congratulate you. Whoa, amazing, you did a good job. They congratulate you for working for some other fool. You see, that's what people do. You see, but back at it again. Let's look at this thing from the Christian point of view. What I want to question those Christians, those people who come here with their verses and everything. Tell me, what do you think of this verse? You see, I don't like to talk about religion and all this nonsense, but sometimes I will have to. You see, what do you think? How do you justify such a things that as I am the God that is jealous and the God that can do what, that can punish the children of because of the based on the parents' sins? You see, how do you justify that? You see, moralistically, if the God that you're worshipping has morals, do you think this is morally good? Is it morally good to go out and punish the children of those people who did you wrong? How is that good? Explain to me. Comment there. I will answer. I always answer to the comment. Comment there and tell me what you think and engage with me, and I will tell you. You explain to me what you think about this verse. You see, because it doesn't make sense to me. Understand? That's why I keep saying it's full of nonsense, man. I don't believe in this God nonsense. This thing is created by this. It's the same thing. It's the same elites, the same entities, the same nonsense. This thing, they all work together here. You see, they all work together, because this verse, the way, with my knowledge and my interpretation, I figured out that this verse is only referring to what I was talking about earlier now, that you as a person, if you don't build a proper foundation in this system, because the system, the society is always about materials, it's always about consumerism, it's always about climbing the hierarchy, success and all these things. If you don't build your children for a proper foundation, then they will be punished. That's what they're trying to say. That's why they are trying to condition you as a person to accept that your children are being punished because of that. You see, it's good. You're supposed to accept suffering because of that. So my problem is you. Why are you forcing to play a game that's already rigged? Why do people play a rigged game? You see, if you were a smart person, if you were an intelligent person, you would ask yourself, why should I bring a child into this thing? Because already you have seen what it's all about. You see, you can see the verse there. You have already read it. You already think through it. You understand what it's all about. But then, why should you continue to breathe? You see, why should you continue to breathe after understanding this thing? You see, okay, here I am. Let's look at it from a different point of view. Let's look at it from a Christian point of view. Okay, a Christian point of view of the verse is that because you don't love me as a God and you hate me, so I'm a jealous God, and then I will do what? I will punish your generation, I will punish your kids and the generation that comes after it because you hated me. Now, from that Christian point of view, tell me, how does it make sense also? How does it make sense that you know that you are imperfect as a person? You see, the Christian always like to preach that humans are imperfect. We are not perfect creatures. We always make faults. We always make sins. So because you know that you always make faults and you always make sins, it means that you're gonna cross your God at some point. You're gonna make him mad. You're gonna make him jealous, because that's what the verse said. You see, you're gonna do something that your God doesn't like eventually, because you're a person who are imperfect. You know that, right? So why will you bring a child while you know that you are imperfect and you're bringing them into an imperfect world with a jealous God? Explain to me. Comment. You see, you people, you think we just keep making these videos and ranting and complaining I think about the things I say. I think some of the things I went through experience, I always try to reason most of the things. You see, that's why I make these videos. That's why I say what I say. You understand? But anyway, Beyond Ego, signing out.